Anthem 5, The Greatness of God. Welcome to Anthem 5 in my attempts to write a new choir anthem every week for a year. I'm Kevin Mulrine, and I hope you will enjoy listening to my progress throughout 2024. Please do visit the website anthem52.com, follow along on x.com at realanthem52 or Instagram at realanthem52, and send me a message to show@anthem52.com. Before I talk about this week's composition, I thought I might give a few recommendations of folk on social media who I've enjoyed following this week. Perhaps you'd like to follow them as well. On Instagram, at EmilyOxtoby_music, is a talented young organist and singer who shares her exploits in a very engaging way. Also on Instagram, composer and choir leader of at Singspace Choir, that's at Olivia Sparkhall, and her latest venture is a book for children and young adults about vocal health. I've bought a copy for my daughter Charlotte. Do follow those accounts, which I will add to the show notes for this episode, and while you're at it, why not follow Charlotte at Artist Who Is Autistic. This week's anthem, the writing went rather well. Maybe it's because I've recovered from my annoying illness or something completely different, but I enjoyed producing a Candlemas anthem from traditional English words I found on the remarkable A Clerk of Oxford site. I don't think it's active anymore, but it does contain a lot of blog posts connected with choral singing. I'll put the link to it in the show notes over at anthem52.com. Here are the 2 verses and 1 chorus I set. The greatness of God in his love has been shown, the light of his life on the nations is thrown, and that which the Jews and the Greeks did divine is come in the fullness of Jesus to shine. The light of the world in the darkness has shone, and grows in our sight as the ages flow on. The light of the world is more clear to our sight as errors disperse and men see him aright. In lands long in shadow his churches arise, and blaze for their neighbours the way of the wise. I decided that the joyful theme of the words would be best for an organ-accompanied anthem, and I played around with the bass pedals for a loud introduction. I wanted to add in a jaunty pedal part just to see what would happen, and a kind of Scotch snap, also known as a Lombard rhythm, seemed to be the way to go. If you've heard fellow Scot James Macmillan's choral music, he sometimes throws in this rhythmical figure, which seems to subvert the beat by using a short, accented note, followed immediately by a longer one. My compositions are hardly in the same league as Mr. Macmillan's, and I left Scotland when I was 7 years old, but I still rather like the effect. This rhythm provides a bit of character to the vocal parts when sung by the basses as well, and I like the way the straight rhythm is interfered with by the Lombard. Somehow this organ introduction and other parts of this anthem have become earworms for me. I even woke up this morning humming parts of it. I'm not sure if this is a positive or a negative thing. Let's go with memorable being positive for now. Conscious of my daughter Charlotte's comments about the themes repeating too often in previous anthems, I threw in a very contrasting slow middle section which appears after only a short time. It was a week for leaning into approaches, as they say, so I created a quiet passage and then another even quieter one. The harmonies also got a bit odd in the second part of this section, so it ended up being a significant change after the happy-go-lucky opening. Then there's a mad crescendo and a deliberate hiatus. I wanted to return to the opening material, but I decided to get there via a quiet, slow organ section, which then goes through a short accelerando, speeding up, and crescendo, getting louder. The MuseScore software can't really cope with this, so you'll hear it gets a bit confused at this passage. That earworm returns, as does the choir, for a cheerful workout, and the final piece of slightly mad writing involves a subito piano instruction, that means getting suddenly quiet, followed by a dramatic crescendo to fortissimo, very loud. See if you think it's too much. I think it's a lot of fun, and I actually laughed out loud when I thought of it. Overall, it was a very positive experience. You might find the anthem too bright and breezy in the fast sections, of course, but see what you think. Well, what do you think? Let me know on x.com, that's at realanthem52, Instagram at realanthem52 as well, as a comment in the show notes for this week at anthem52.com or via email show@anthem52.com. Diary conflicts have meant that I'm still waiting to unveil my first mystery guest, but it will definitely be worth the wait. I hope you will join me next week for a new episode and a new anthem. Only 47 to go. But until then, the question remains, will I make it to Anthem 52?